Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Rwagnation League Season 6, Round 3 Grand Prix here in Japan. We saw the F2s. It was definitely chaotic, to say the least. You saw the qualifying yesterday. I'm Ben Raggy McConnell, and joining me on the commentator's desk is the incredibly talented... It's Jess. How you doing?
I'm really excited for this race, Ben. I love Japan. It's definitely a driver and fan favourite, and I'm really excited to see what these drivers have in store for us tonight.
Oh, it's going to be a doozy. I cannot wait. But this is the track that we're going to be going on today. 3.6 mile long with 18 turns in total. It's going to be a really awkward run because there's only one DRS zone, but still plenty of overtaking opportunities. You do need to make sure you've got it all collected together. Now, driver standings looks as follows. Yenab is obviously your championship leader based on how consistent he's been over the first two races. 0 penalties across them both. Andy there, P2, tied with some idiot currently. Who's there in P3 for now. Top Tom still in it. Got a lot of opportunities to bring it back. Obviously, it is a shorter season, but there's still plenty of opportunity to get some points. Yonti and Jesper, the Haas boys, are the gatekeepers to the back end of the top 10. Could actually get in there very easily themselves. It's 4 points for Yonti, 1 point for Jesper. And then the remainder, we've got donuts left, right, and center. Everybody else on the big donut ring of death. When it comes to the constructors, it's actually pretty one-sided. Racing Point, 77 points, although Mercedes are still there, 45. It's just, you're seeing a good performance from Andy. We're not necessarily seeing the same from the second driver, obviously, which is Crucix, but we have seen others in there too, Wenny being one of them. Red Bull there, P3, only 3 points ahead of McLaren, so it can still very easily change at the drop of a hat. Now, you've seen the quali yesterday, but how does the grid look going into it today? Vexit on pole position with Andy right there on the back of him. 16 thousandths separated them. That's just how close it was. Ben in P3 with Yanab there in P4. Want to point out, Ben's on the medium compound tire. Crucix P5 with somebody at P6. It's starting to get all more being the soft runners. I don't think we saw any other medium as Galvan P7, Beaker in P8. Beaker in the top 10. Who would have thought we'd have said that today? Yonti, P9, Copy in P10. I think this is actually one of the best results I've seen from Copy in a long while. Dylan, best of the rest, P11 with Mateo there in P12. Mateo's actually had a bit of a mare this weekend so far. Danny Co P13 with Top Tom uncharacteristically down there in 14th place. Higgsy 15th with Phoenix Legend in 16th. This is actually kind of a do or die time for these two now, it feels like. Jesper there in 17th. He did get himself a 3-place grid penalty, and Luca in 18th place. Dennis in 19th with Brownie in 20th. Those guys not getting times on the board. But I do believe I've heard from the stewards regarding Jesper's penalty. I think that has been reverted slightly, so bear that in mind. The hot lap then going into Japan. This is obviously, of course, Yonti giving us a tour of this legendary circuit as we come now down the home straight in towards turn 1. Very late apex here. You want to brake really late as well and bring it nicely through, carrying as much momentum as you can. You come into the S's. You cannot get this wrong at all. You have to cut every curve just right and get the right level of momentum, because if you get too much or too little, you completely destroy the run. Now, coming into Dunlop Curve, you need to make sure this is good because you're coming into two right-handers here. Right now, first is a little break and a flick through the corner into the Degner 1, and now Degner 2 is here. Don't run too far out wide. Do not touch the gravel. You will definitely find yourself buried in a wall. Now coming to a quick right-hander and now into the hard hairpin. This is very difficult here, especially as your tires start to drop and you've got all that weight on the car from the fuel. It's very easy to lose the back end through there, but now it's a very flat right-hander. Keep your foot pinned down to the bottom of the throttle pedal, and as you come into the first part of Spoon, clip down the inside. Again, run out wide, but don't run too wide. You can very easily get a penalty there. And as you come into the second part, and most crucially, I'd say this is the most important corner here, because this is a massive run through to 130R and then in towards the final triangle. It's got to, this is easy as long as you're not going side by side with somebody, but then you're coming into the triangle. You want to cut this quite nicely on the inside, but don't do it too hard. It can give you an instant penalty. And again, for the left-hander here. And now we don't have a bump here in this game, so you can just flat all the way down into the home straight, DRS ring wide open to do the lap all over again. And you better hope and pray that your pace out of that corner is enough, because it can very easily go horribly wrong for you. Righty, Jess, qualifying. I'm not sure if you've been able to catch up on everything that happened in the quali, but I have had it confirmed now that yes, it has been reverted. Jesper hasn't received that 3-second time penalty. He has moved back up the grid again by those 3 places. So I think it's P14, I believe, is where it sits. So everyone else that was there and below will now be moved down a place. We are going into the big old 100% Grand Prix at Suzuka.
The third one of the season.
Revered.
Oh, is it not?
It tells me it's been reverted and then tells me it hasn't been reverted.
Make up your mind, stewards.
Yeah, come on, Toto. What are you playing at?
The third 100% race of the season. It just times fly by, definitely. But with people on different strategies, I'm sure it's going to be interesting as well. But we can't put it past Yenab as well, with his incredible performances in the last 2 races. Some idiot as well last week too, who got a great performance as well. But there's still a lot of people that have not performed as well. Could this be the day where Ferrari actually score some decent points? Because they had a nightmare these last 2 races. Maybe today could be their best shot, especially with Vexit on pole position.
Well, this is it. Absolutely. I mean, Vexit has had a pretty rough first 2 races. Ferrari as a whole, like you say, they've been horrific. But this is Vexit's chance to really show what he is capable of. He absolutely can nail it now if he gets it right properly. It's just, 100% race is a very long time. And Vexit is somebody who tends to get those penalties and not able to keep it all reined in entirely. Whether or not he can do it here in Suzuka is another thing, but he's in a great position to do so. Look at that strategy call outside of the top 10. That is going to be interesting. Mediums for most. 2 people have gone hards. 1 stop is apparently doable here. Okay.
Oh, I would say.
Vexit!
Luckily, that's a formation lap, though. Hopefully, he doesn't do that in the race in the ES section. Now, watch out for turn 1 in the race, because I've done many starts in turn 1. Most of the time, it all goes horribly wrong. So let's hope people have put a lot of practice to their race start. And this ES section, like we said, can catch people out as well. So, yeah, that's not going to do his tyres any good. But, yeah, for someone saying that a 1 stop is doable, I don't know. But we are not the strategists. We got Jeffs that do that. They know best. So we shall see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. That off there from Vexit will not have helped his tyres at all. 100%. In fact, let's have a quick look at that in a second and just figure out how bad it's going to look for them. Apparently, I can't see it. 99% on the rears, so it's not too bad. It's not the end of the world, but
Lost
yeah,
1%.
it definitely wouldn't have helped. Yeah. I think everybody's going to be in that. Everyone, Ben's on 99% as well.
Yeah, so Vexit didn't lose out too much. So.
No.
And luckily there's no damage on formation lap as well, but I'm going to say, with Andy in P2, I'm going to put Andy for the win, I think. I think he's got the pace today. What do you think?
I honestly don't know. I think Vexit has got the pace that he needs in order to actually do well, but I'm just concerned about the consistency. This is a track, especially if the formation lap is anything to go on. You can't rule him out, but you also can't rule him in. Andy's looked so good, but that again, it comes down to that penalty. Both races, he's had penalties and it's dictated his good positions in the race. So Midia did such a good job last week. Not only did he beat him physically on the track, obviously penalties came into it as well, and it did also help cement that position even more. So a very good job there from Samidia. Yenab, another driver, very consistent, hasn't had a single penalty. Same with Copy. They're the only 2 people who've not yet had penalties over the entire season so far, which is fantastic to see. But can you do it again here in Japan? Because you're going to need to, as the lights are on here in Suzuka, and it's go time. Away we are. Vexit has got a fantastic start. Andy's alongside of him, though. He's not going to quite get in time for turn 1. Ben's having to go defensive because Yenab is like a rocket off the start, trying to get down the inside. Crucix is in P4, trying to hold it down as well. Yenab might be able to hold the run through the S's. You do not want to be side by side through here if you can avoid it. And Yenab says, yep, I agree. I'm not going to do it now. I'll just save my time and do it later, as this is a very long race.
Looks like everyone's made it through clean in turn 1, so they probably learned from our advice, I have to say, as well. But yeah, the top 3 pretty much stays as it is as well. Yenab stays in 5th position with Crucix having a good start too. So, people making off the ground as well. Beaker staying in 9th. I think they're just keeping it cautious because it's very, very long, like we said. Now, everyone's now heading through the hairpin now. It's going to be interesting to see if any moves are made there. A lot of moves have been made there in the past. Dennis actually makes his way past Higgsy there, up to 15th. And now Higgsy should try and come back as well through that hairpin. He said you can make a move there. Dennis goes to defensive to the left. He go and gets the move done. Yes, he does. And he's up into 15th place. But I know Higgsy wants to fight back going into Spoon Curve as well. We've got Jesper and Phoenix fighting in the background as well as Brownie on the hards as well. We've got 2 of the racing points fighting with Some Idiot and Yenab, as Some Idiot gets past Yenab as Crew 6 now makes it a Mercedes 2-3 as he makes his way past Ben.
And Gillivan's actually going side by side here. Oh, look at this move. This is fantastic. Yenab has actually left the session. That's what made that jump back there. Somehow, Yenab has had an issue. He's going to start falling like a stone through the grid here. More and more people are going to keep on pushing through. The telemetry on the left is starting to show incorrect things, so ignore that. But Yenab is returning. He should get back in P9. But yeah, lots of places made. This is less than ideal. Apparently, Yenab had desync, which is why he's had to disconnect. Gelban did still make a fantastic move. I think by the time that the move had actually been completed, that was right as Yenab had just left as well. So still, really good attempt from Gelban. It was actually very cleanly executed. You will have to excuse the telemetry on the left for now until we get to lap 3, as an actual lap 3. I know it says it, but it is only lap 2. I promise you. At the end of this lap, it should correct itself as long as all drivers cross the line.
Yeah, nobody has gone into the pits already, so no damages, unlike last week, which is great to see as well. We got Matteo making his way through the grid. Nice to see him up there making up some ground as well, as Shortway is known in the game, as he tries to fight with Dylan in the McLaren as well. We got somebody that gets past Ben now up to 4th as well, but you can see the run into Spoon curve is going to be very, very tight for Dylan there, but Dylan just about holds on. But Matteo is never going to give up without a fight, I have to say. Danny Cohen, Top Tom is in that battle as well. Top Tom needs to get a move on because he's not where he used to be in this league at the moment, but you know, he's good on pace, and I'm sure he can get up there into the points paying position very, very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Danica looked pretty good through there as well, which is really good to see. He's actually looking like he's coming out swinging here today. Vexit setting more fastest laps, which we kind of expect to see, but when you get to the lap 3, you think maybe somebody else is going to start showing some pace and actually taking over, but it feels like this is going to be a huge train for quite a while until people's tires start to drop and the strategy calls are made. This is a track where there isn't really that there is a DRS zone, which is on the home straight, but it's not the main place to overtake. You can do it, but you have to burn a fair bit of ERS because of the way that the final corner is. You're still able to carry a fair bit of momentum, and it's actually quite late down that straight where the DRS becomes available. And the only way to really make that ground up is by, like I say, dumping all that battery, trying to utilize the tow as much as possible, and just seeing where you go from there. I actually want to go on board with Andy using our super fandangled. It will appear, I promise you. There it is, the Halo hood. We'll stay with him as he goes through for a half a lap at least. Let's see how he manages to navigate this triangle, because I'm definitely losing a lot of time there.
Yeah. It's notable, I think, as well, but you can see Andy's gaining. I think he's being a little bit patient, I think, to try and get the move anyway. And we know Andy's good on race pace. He's shown that in the first race as well, apart from his penalties he's got. So maybe this could be the race where he gets his win outright on track. And I've noticed around here as well, penalties can be less of a factor. Oh, he's going to go for it.
Oh, he is going for it. He is going for it. He's committing.
Here he
Around
goes.
the outside here on Vexit. This is going to be so tight to make out. He cannot quite get it through. Vexit's just defended it, but that would have been a huge overtake if he could have just carried that momentum through there. Vexit, very well defended. It was very much on the limit, but no damage. Nobody's crying, at least not yet. Now we can be happy, right?
Yeah, and I have to say, penalty is not going to be a huge factor before you cut me up with the battle. But yeah, penalties are going to be a less factor. I think the only place you can invalidate and get penalties and cone warnings is through the Degners, maybe through the hairpin, spoon, and potentially the Casio triangle. That's pretty much it, and possibly the final corner as well. So I think those are a few corners to watch out for in terms of penalty. So Austria and Canada, we saw it was penalty central. Japan, maybe not so much, but it's a 100% race. We don't know what people are like in 100% races as well, but it's great to see Beaker making some moves. He's up into 8th now after Yenab's disconnection and he's now desync issues, and he's now back. Brownie gets past Higgsy up to 17th. Brownie, don't forget, started in last position and definitely making some ground. And Phoenix, though, he is struggling on those soft tyres, and after he pitted as well. His race has gone from bad to worse for him.
Yeah, it's sad to see. I mean, Phoenix Legend actually has got a fair bit of potential within him that he's still yet to show and demonstrate to these guys in this season. It's just, things have just not gone quite his way. Needs a lot more time practicing, I think. But here comes Andy. Is he going to go again? Nope, he's not got the ERS in full yeet mode. It's just conserved now for now. But Yonti on the back of Gelbavan. He's actually looking committed. He didn't have his DRS activated for most of that back straight. Oh, he almost goes into the back of Gelbavan there. Gelbavan getting a little bit back end happy there, but still manages to tame it. That could have been very disastrous had that not happened. Top Tom in there in P14. It's actually a McLaren sandwich for Danico. He's got orange behind him. He's got orange ahead of him. He's got no one around him to help him. His teammate is a bit too far up the field to sort of defend this one. Matteo in P11 on the mediums is being the leader for this medium trend, if you exclude Ben, who is it did get a helping hand in the quali.
Yeah, he did as well, but to be honest, I think it's not too bad him starting on the mediums. Of course, he would have lost a few positions due to the people on the softs around, but he's doing very well, holding up the rest of the drivers behind him. So for him, it's not been a bad start for him for the start of his race. I was expecting him not to keep P3 for a little bit, but he's going to probably be in a much better position later on in the race, as long as he keeps up where he is at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, well, Vexit doing a much better job than I actually anticipated. I must be honest. Actually, Top Tom, he's on the back of Danico here. I don't know, he's just turned off the RS and lifted a little bit there to try and make sure he didn't go for a maneuver here. Danico's actually going to be applying pressure to Dylan. Danico's going to go across. Dylan's going to defend it. Big read there from Top Tom to make sure he didn't just send it down the inside, and this could have been a big crash, but they're all so aware. They're all so heads up.
Gelbavan on Ben.
Danico's going to go for it. Yeah. Danico's got Dylan, and now Gelbavan has got Ben.
There we go, 2 moves in one, in one bit of the stream, to be honest. That's pretty good as well, but we can see Danny, Karen, Tom still fine, so let's go back on that as well. I mean, the two McLeods are definitely working well together, I have to say, but, you know, I thought Danny will probably be in a sandwich there. If Tom gets past Danny, then I think Dylan is going to be doing wonders, I think, for Tom to try and hold Danny up as well and help Tom pull away. I think that's what teammates are for, right?
Well, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other thing is that Dylan was actually fighting with Danico, as in leading that little 3-car battle that's going on there. Tom must have said, I'm coming as well, watch out, and followed him through, and that's why Dylan's down 2 places in just that few corners there. Tom actually did manage to get ahead of Danico for a brief second before he retaliated and got himself back through. So Danico is very happy right now, but it could all go very wrong. We have got a migrating host here, as Bika appears to have left the session. I don't know what could have caused that, but it looks like the migration of hosts has been completed, so fingers crossed that hasn't interrupted anything going on track. Bika, we're going to lose that to Yenab, it looks like.
Yep, as well. So I think, don't forget, ghosting is off though, because in most leagues ghosting is on, so you can get past easily. Ghosting is off in this league, so it's not going to be plain sailing for Yenab to get past Bika, Bika's AI, to be honest. So Yenab's got a lot of work to do going through turn 1, but it looks like he's made it look easy, does Yenab. So Yenab is up to P8. Bika's going to has to make up definitely a lot of ground, but we know Bika, hopefully he can come back as well. I'll see if I can chuck him an invite if he's got a spare one, because I believe hosts don't get backup invites. So I'll see if I can grab him another invite for you.
Yeah, I've just sent him one as well, just to give him the added extra helping hand.
Oh, he's joined.
Bika
Brilliant.
Has got back in. Yep. So in that time, Dennis got the first penalty, so he's got the track limit penalties on his name now, along with Higgsy, who's just got another one as well. 3 seconds for both. So they'll have to manage that later coming into this race to make sure that they don't have any further penalties, ideally. Bika has managed to just get back in and will be able to take control of his car anytime now. And he is going to be resuming from P11. Bit sad, he was actually doing a very good job holding it up there in P8, but yeah, that one, I don't know what happened, whether his game crashed or if he had some sort of network issue or something, but he has lost 3 places. 4 places even as a result.
Let's hope it's not any Steam issues like the last few days, but it looks like it's not, as the rating's still going on, of course. But it looks like Beaker's back in the session, because there's no way Beaker will be challenging for a move in here. Oh, Beaker's left again. Oh, no.
He is having network issues, apparently. Apparently, Alfa Romeo in general are having issues. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but Andy still staying very close to the back of Vexit. Crucix has actually been dragged forward a little bit here as well. 9/10 is the gap between the 2 teammates, and is going to need to be dropped even further if they want to be in a position to tag team Vexit and knock him outside of that overall podium effectively. I mean, they can't knock him out of it completely. They could put him in P3 unless they have physical contact, but yeah. So Dennis has apparently lost force feedback, and Baker's
no.
losing network connection. So both of them together, Alfa Romeo facing some real mechanical and technical difficulties.
The first few weeks has been Ferrari that's having issues. This week it's Ferrari's sister team Alfa Romeo. They can't catch a break at the moment.
And Dennis has got another penalty because he's got no feeling in the car right now. He's struggling to kind of keep the car pointing in the right direction. Once it goes, there's no fixing it. The only way you can fix it is by restarting the game, which is
not ideal.
Bears for him. Yeah.
And I believe Dinner gets past Beaker, yeah. No problem at all for Dylan. Yeah, only just. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's a shame to have network issues for Beaker. I mean, he did had a very good qualifying, and yeah, I think sometimes the bad news hurts, unfortunately, for Beaker. So, yeah, I hope he recovers. There could be people that get penalties, and he's got no penalties thus far, so it's not over yet. It's still a long way to go for this race, but let's go on board with Andy again. He didn't get the move into turn 1 like I was expecting him to do, but Vexit's definitely holding his own at the moment. I think he's putting a lot of pressure on each other. Obviously, his teammate's not here, and his two other Ferrari comrades in Beaker and Dennis, they're not doing very well either. So I think Vexit is performing well to make up for the mistakes, I think. But we'll see what happens with him as the deltas have gone on my screen, so I can't see what the gaps are. So that's annoying. So I have to look at the track map, but
and pray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you can do. It's
Dennis is off. Dennis is off. Where's that?
Is that contact? Is that big contact? 5-second penalty given to him for a severe collision that he had with Jesper.
Oh, I think the stewards will look at that, but it wasn't caught on stream, so I think. I wonder if Jesper's streaming. I wonder if Jesper's streaming, because I don't know, but surely that will be removed, but you'll have to probably serve in his first pit stop anyway. So again, not ideal for Dennis. I mean, it's just his woes are continuing on, unfortunately, but it's hard to drive in Japan in force feedback. Japan's a real track, not gonna lie, but if you have no force feedback at all, it probably puts you behind everybody else that's driving here today, as well as we've got Top Tom and Danny Coe that's battling once again, and we've got Andy as well on Vexit. Let's go to the lead battle, actually, as Andy's potentially going to get the lead this time, but Vexit is really going to try and defend this time. He said P1 is mine, and that's what he's going to do. Vexit carries on leading this Grand Prix, only just though, but Andy, what said he was trying to do, but I have to say, it's a great turnaround for Vexit than what we've seen in previous races, as Dennis is out the race and retired from the session, and to be honest, it's probably because of his force feedback that he's given up, so I don't blame him. What a shame.
Yeah, sad news for Dennis. We have royalty in the chat. Mr. King Kodiak is here. Good evening, sir. Good to see you. Andy did try his best on Vexit. He couldn't quite make it. Obviously, Vexit defended like an absolute beast, so fair play to him. But yeah, unfortunately, he didn't make it through for Andy, and now he's going to have to do it all over again. Luckily, he's got another 43 laps to do it in, so let's monitor that, shall we, and see how it goes. Yellow flag in what looks to be on the track map, the entire course except sector 1. Although according to the map,
that's Dennis's AI. That's Dennis's AI.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at this! Is Andy going to try and go on the outside of 130R? He's going to try to, at least. Oh my word, Andy with the send. He's done it. My oh my, the moves of the season so far. Vexit, I think, has been caught napping there. And Andy's now in the lead, but for how much longer? As I know Vexit is going to be hungry for more. My oh my, I was not expecting that at all. And Andy's already pulling away from Vexit. This could have a chance for Cruises to come back up. Is Vexit going to make the move to turn 1? He does not, but he's still close up to Andy once again. So it's not over for Vexit at this moment in time. Whew.
Yeah, but he needs to now make sure he doesn't overcompensate. He cannot allow himself to get overwhelmed by the fact that Andy did get him. If you push too hard at this point, not only are you going to destroy your tyres, but you're also more vulnerable to making mistakes, finding yourself going off the track limits and getting those penalties, which you really can't afford to get right now, especially if you're Vexit or Ferrari, because you just need, he's currently riding solo right now. He's representing the entire team, and he needs to pray that there are no Ferrari strategies being pulled.
Yeah, every team obviously has a Jeff, so hopefully their Jeffs will perform. Vexit did pick up a penalty, though, somewhere. I don't know what bit of the track he did pick up a penalty, but he did pick up a penalty. So that is him on the back foot at the moment between the two Mercedes drivers in a Mercedes sandwich. So Vexit needs a miracle, but he's still going to get some very valuable points if he keeps it on the track. Vexit likes this track. He always gains quite a few positions in Japan as well, so not always lost for him right now, but you can see Crucix is within DRS range now, and there's only one DRS straight on the track, and that's just after the Casio Triangle, I believe, so only one chance for the DRS action to be made, but it's important that people get into the DRS zone, and Crucix has just done that.
Yeah, indeed. Yonti almost goes into the back of Ben. That was very nearly contact between the two, but yeah, Yonti's all right. I mentioned this last week, but it blows my mind every time I see him race, because I have to remind myself that he doesn't race like any normal person would do. He races with a single foot. He brakes with the same foot that he accelerates with, and I just think that blows my mind that he's able to achieve that and be this fast. I imagine how good he'd be if he could use both feet. Like, it'd be just sensational.
That's the first I've heard of this, to be honest. Wow, that definitely blows my mind. The thing that blew my mind a few seasons ago in ERS with Keyboard Madness and using a keyboard to race, and now Yonti's using one foot for the brake and acceleration.
Yeah, I know.
That's just amazing. I have to say, I've learned something new quite a lot from some of these drivers as well, and it just goes to show you can do anything. The physical barriers does not affect you in any way, shape or form. You got to find a workaround, and Yonti has proven that he's definitely doing that and able to compete. He's been in RNL for a long time, and he's been able to keep his seat for a long time. He's been in the top 10 for most of his career in the season. So, you know, Yonti is he's a consistent driver, and there's going to be a point where the softs are going to start to die a little bit, but we're going to probably potentially see a battle from Yonti on the back of Ben. But Copy's up to 8th at the moment. Copy's having a good race so far, I have to say. So let's see what Copy can do as well, if he can catch up to this battle, if these two keep squabbling. We've got Galbaban still on this battle too. This could be a three-way battle for P5 at this rate.
It really can. We've also got Crucix, who's burned a lot of his ERS to try and stay and fight with Vexit. He's got almost single digits there for a moment. I'm just having a quick look at the tyre wear for the top three. So 63% for Crucix, 61% for both Andy and Vexit, actually. So the tyre wear is pretty equally matched. I thought Vexit might have been burning his tyres a little bit more with how hard it looks like he's been pushing, but no, he's doing all right. He's hanging in there quite nicely.
Yeah, he is. He's doing pretty good as well, as is the top three. I think they're running their own races at the moment. So we've got Some Idiot, which is P4 at the moment, riding solo for the Racing Point team, whilst Yanab is fighting out in 9th place. But we know Yanab is good with crazy strategies to see if he can get up near the front again. So it's not going to be the end for Yanab as well. 5 drivers picking up penalties, which is more than I thought was going to be. But it happens, and I think a lot of people have probably picked it, I think, through the Dagners. That's where I find a few penalties in my day when I race in Japan. So, but looks like the gap between Ben and Galbaban has increased a little bit, but the gap between Yonti and Ben is still within that 5/10 range. So this could get very spicy, I have to say. Yonti's not making the move yet. I think it's due to DRS train as well that's happening between these 3 drivers. So we'll see what happens. You can see Copy in the background that could catch up again. So we'll find out. It's not over for, because don't forget, Ben's the only driver in the top 10 aside on the mediums. He will have to pit a lot later than everybody else. As Top Tom gets past Yenab up to P9, I believe. But Yenab is definitely pushing to try and get the position back. It's not over until we say it's over, as Yenab goes to turn 1, and he's not going to do the same move as we've seen Annie do earlier on. But Yenab is still fighting, and his train in the midfield is definitely growing between, I would say Copy all the way down to, I would say, Danico in 12th, which is very exciting to see.
Indeed. Well, we'll keep watching this throughout. Yonti does need to just maintain his pace. I was worried for a moment that Ben might drop off that train, and then that would become a problem for him. Well, I'd say train, it's only Galbaban really they'd be losing out from. He's still well within Ben, and I think he can manage Ben quite nicely. He is on those softs that would drop off any minute now, in terms of being faster than the mediums. The mediums definitely are on par, it looks like, with the softs. They just need to maintain it a little bit more, and then Ben should start to take back over again and crawl further forwards. Obviously, penalty-wise, he's done very well. He's kept himself completely clean so far. Penalties, Galbaban and Vex are the only 2 ahead that have got the penalties. That will become a problem later on, though.
Yeah, I think there's going to be an issue later on in terms of penalties, and see keep it consistent as well. Yonti's even closer to Ben this lap than previous laps at the moment, so he could go for a move towards the Casio triangle as well. We're getting a really bad camera angle there from the game there. Can he have a look to the right? Oh, that was very, very close once again from Yonti. A bit of a slide though going on the exit of the Casio triangle. That's lost Yonti a lot of time to Ben there, but let's see if he can gain. He's gaining quite a bit, so, you know, it didn't hurt him that much, but getting wheel spins on in Japan is quite common, as I found out on this game.
Yeah. Let's go have a look at the tyre wear for Yonti, because he's been pushing pretty hard, but he's doing all right. 59%. Let's look at that in comparison to the leaders. 54% for Vexit and 53% for Andy. So Yonti's actually pushing these softs much further than these guys are at the front of the grid. They are obviously a considerable bit faster than them per lap, so that is going to naturally add extra tyre wear, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. I think the more that you battle, the more your tyre wear is going to go down the drain at this stage. So the more you got cleaner air, the much better. And Yonti gained a bit of time in that hairpin as well. But we're going to watch out, I think. We're going to move on, I think I would say, to the... Wow, look at this train in the midfield as well, growing and growing as well. Matteo's still hanging in there as well, battling for the last point. The top 10 do score points in this league. And, you know, Matteo's not having any mistakes as of yet. And touch wood, he's not having any desync issues this week. So... we think.
Yeah, we think. I mean, so far, I've heard that there's been some desync. I've not actually seen it myself, other than what Yanab had issues with, but who knows, who knows. We'll have to wait and see. Andy, though, still race leader. Vexit still hanging into that DRS range. Actually, Crucix has fallen out, and he's very, very low on that ERS. And now, Crucix is in the worst position possible. He's got no battery can help to deploy to bring himself back into the DRS range. He's also, I mean, he's got the fuel. He can absolutely flip it up to rich, not a problem at all. It's just now whether or not you can go any further with it.
Yeah, and if there's a track where you don't want to use too much of your ERS very quickly, it's definitely Japan. There's not many places where you can recharge ERS, really. So, yes, Crucix is definitely in a lot of trouble as well, and especially since it's nice and clear at the moment. We've been very lucky with the weather. We set it to dynamic for the whole... pretty much for the first 3 races, and it hasn't really changed much. It's been quite sunny the whole way through. As Phoenix is out now, I'm retired from the session. I believe that's in the pit lane. Yes, it is. So they decided to call it a night, sadly. That's his race over. We're now down to 17 drivers so far, but at least everyone else is still going. And not many moves at the moment. I think they're just finding their time before they make their first pit stops, which... I'm trying to remember how long the softs last in that 100% race. I do remember it's around 12 if it's 50%, I believe, and then it's 24 if it's 100%. I don't know. My memory's completely wrong, but yeah, I think around about lap 24 is when they're probably going to pit again and then go on to the hards or mediums until the end if they see fit as well. But you know, again, like I said, not many moves happening at the moment. But these guys are just being patient, because you never know what could happen. There may be a safety car, there may be some damage from some other people as well, but we shall see. And it's not going to be very long that Tom is going to be on the back of this train as well, because he's on the mediums as well. So he's going to see the soft runners probably start to die a little bit, and he could battle it with Yonti, which may help Ben a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Ben can really start to bring this race back in again now. I think his mediums are actually starting to benefit him quite a lot here. He's actually going to start bringing himself further forwards. He's obviously still within Geldervan and just going to continue monitoring this as he goes into the mid stage of the race. It feels weird because we're on lap 17. I'm so used to saying later stages now, because this is usually the halfway point. But no, we've still got quite a long way to go. Many more laps. We haven't even yet seen a pit stop. We haven't yet seen a pit stop from somebody who hasn't had an issue on the track.
We haven't had any pit stops for the ones that are still in this race. Everyone that's been in the race has been on the tyre since the very start. So yeah, it just goes to show how good everyone has been so far in keeping it clean as well. There's still a few slides from some few other people as well. But, you know, it's still a long way to go, like I said. And I'm wondering that Yonti may start to lose some time in 2 laps time. He's doing not too bad now. If he wants to get the move done on Ben and Galvan, he's got to get the move done now, because otherwise he's going to hinder himself when it gets to the stage where his tyres pretty much go off the cliff, to be honest. We haven't seen a tyre explode yet. We almost saw it last week, but
I just want one. It's not too much to ask, is it? I just want one. I was teased in Abu Dhabi. I thought we might see a pop, but
we was teased in Austria as well.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently, I got it wrong. But there's a shock for you. I got it wrong, apparently, that from 80% of the wear is where the puncture territory starts, not that's 75. So
that's something I thought it was 70.
Yeah. Dennis did tell me his tyres popped in Canada last season, but I didn't see it happen. It's very different. I want to watch it happen, you know. I've been struggling to catch one live as Dylan's just got himself another penalty. I think that might be his first. Actually, let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. Yeah, everybody's only had one so far that has got one. So we're looking at Vexit, Galbavan, Top Tom, Danico, Dylan, and Higgsy. They are the only ones so far that have got penalty. It's actually looking pretty good.
Yeah, I said earlier that there's less penalties to be made at the moment. It's not going to be like Austria or Canada where there's people that are close to disqualification. So that's good to see, which means we get to see some good racing and people actually fighting for position as well. And not that much suspense, I think, towards the end on who's going to get it on penalties as well. But, you know, Vexit's still winning that DRS race. And Krusix decides to go into the pits right here and right now onto the medium tyres, interestingly enough.
Yeah. Absolutely. Top Tom with the new fastest lap with a 130.783. This is good stuff to see. Like to see Top Tom actually getting some pace in. He's I say this quite frequently, and you know, I shouldn't have favourites, but I mean every commentator has a favourite, right? Top Tom is somebody who has a soft spot in my heart. Like I relate to him on so many levels, except for the fact that he's really quick and I'm really not. But we just have those very hit and miss races. He's got a really nice personality. I think he's just a really cool dude, and I would love to see him get himself, onto some race wins. Get a nice juicy 25 point in there. Maybe even get a 26 if you're feeling properly on it.
He's purple sector 1 at the moment, so it's showing that the mediums are definitely the faster tyre at the moment compared to the soft. So I won't be surprised if the top 3 go into the pits anytime soon. They got to respond to Krusix in 12. At the moment, they've got to.
Yeah, Krusix he's having a very weird race. He dropped off that top 2 and couldn't really bring himself back. I think that's ultimately what forced him into the pit lane, realistically. I think he didn't want to be going in when he did, but ultimately, well, what else can you do in that situation? If you've dropped off that pace, you got to try and do some sort of undercut and hope that it works out for you. I think it will work out for him. I think the undercut is actually the best strategy available to him in that scenario, but what do I know? Pit window seems to be open for the softs, so actually seeing Andy's gone in, he's got himself onto the mediums. It doesn't look like, and Krusix came in the lap before. Galbavan and Yonti have been in and done the same, so let's see now whether or not Vexit has made a mistake by staying out an extra lap.
Some idiot as well.
Stay out for an extra lap.
Some idiots out for an extra lap, so is Copy and Yenna.
I just want to look at some idiots. Where he is pretty much matching Vexit. Usually somebody is much better on the tyres. I guess that's either a compliment to Vexit that he's done very well on his tyres, or it's a negative aspect for some idiot, because I mean he's not done as well as he normally does.
Yeah, we don't know at this point in Japan which tyre wear is the best to be on right now, so we can't really tell, but the more 100% races we do, the more we could actually gauge and like, right, which is the best situation to be on when terms of tyre wear. So, but some idiot, he's got a point to prove. He's had the win, but he's got to be consistent. That's what helps you win championships. That helps you win RNL championships, and that's what helped both Summit and Yenab win the constructors last season. Anyway, Beaker is up into 11th place in the middle of the 2 Mercedes boys, and I actually managed to get ahead of Krusix in the pit stops due to Krusix struggling earlier on, which is fair enough, but we shall see what happens as Vexit goes into the pits. Will some idiot follow him in? Nope, he does not. So Vexit, I think, had to respond, and he goes in onto the mediums too. I thought more people would have gone onto the hards, but some people saying in the chat the hards are quite a good side to be on in Japan, but to be honest, I disagree, mainly because I mainly commentate, and I do league race, but I'm not as good as these guys.
These guys are crazy quick. Krusix sets a new fastest lap, and here comes Vexit out of the pit lane. Who's going to be the race leader? It's going to be Andy again. Beaker slipped through as well, so that's bad news for Vexit. Great news for Krusix, because he's actually come out right on the back of Vexit here after all the pit stops have been taken into account. Obviously, it is a net P123 situation. Bika is very much being the blocker here, and it's actually working wonders for Andy. He's gone. He's up there in P8, already built a 1 second gap to Bika, and Vexit just has to sit behind him. This is the most frustrating situation you could be in if you are that Ferrari driver.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the person that you do not want to be in a sandwich with, and that's Bika, not gonna lie.
Oh, the send.
Looks like Vexit, yeah. What a send. I had to do exactly similar send when I got caught out with an AI car for the final few laps who held me up. So Vexit had to do it, otherwise he would have lost time. So Vexit's now within that almost within that 1 second range, but he's got to claw some time back. But his tyres probably are not good with him in the battle, whereas Andy's able to have some clear air, which helps him a little bit. But you can see Cruisik's trying to do exactly a similar thing to what Bika did to Vexit, so we'll see what happens. He goes around the outside. He goes, and again another creative send from Krusik, and up to a net P3 on track. Well, he is a net P3 on track anyway. As we got Matteo makes his way past Yenab and up into P4. So yeah, the soft tyres are definitely struggling right now.
Andy managed to get past Dylan as well on that home straight, so nice P7 physically. Obviously net P1 still regardless, and that gap seems to be only getting bigger. Andy set the new fastest lap on that last lap as well, which is, you know, exactly what he needs. He's driving exactly how he has to. I'm told that it's a very easy one-stop strategy here on this circuit. Lots of people coming in and just chopping off those tires and going onto either the medium or the soft, depending on which strategy they're going for. It's too soon for the mediums to come in and go onto the softs. We'll see whether or not they can take it to around about 31-ish laps in. We'll see. Time penalty for Higgsy added. I think that's his second. Yep, it is. So he's got 6 seconds. He's the first of the drivers to actually get more than one penalty. We'll have to watch out now if he can just keep that limited now. If he can stay at 6 seconds, the chances are that there's going to be other people on the track that also get up to 6 seconds. So he might be able to actually physically battle them on the circuit. But right now, obviously, he's fighting for a non-points position. He just needs to stay consistent and focused.
Yeah, he is. As did a lot of these drivers as well that got penalties, because you never know what could happen. So Midia is in as well, so I won't be surprised if Yenab goes in the next lap. Unfortunately, you cannot double stack, sadly, so that's why Yenab has to stay out as well. But it's going to be stuck in traffic with Danico as well, so it's far from over yet between these drivers to try and keep it on the track too. As let's see where Samidia goes, fits in with everybody else. As he comes out, he's got Vexit that's overtook him with Cruises. We've got Brownie as well. He just want to be. Oh, that was very, very close from some idiot. He almost got spun by Jesper there, but he's just about got ahead of Gelberban there. Oh my word, that made me jump. That got my adrenaline pumping. But yeah, some idiot. That just shows how good of a racer he is to avoid contact. If I had that type of spin, I probably would have ended up having a 360 spin by now. But yeah, somebody's car control is impeccable.
Yeah, I'd have been dead without doubt. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it was very close between them as Vexit and Dylan are going side by side. Vexit did retaliate to Andy's fastest lap on the previous lap. He actually got the new fastest lap now, so this is great to see from Vexit. However, again, look at the gap, 2.2 seconds. Vexit is going to need to put in some fantastic pace here. Code Brown for some idiot, no doubt, and he's going to now need to use these very new mediums to get through on Jesper, and he's done exactly that into the first part of Spoon. The exit for the second part needs to be pretty clean because he's actually just on that limit for DRS of Dylan. Cruisik's also getting past Dylan. Sorry, not Dylan. Browning. Cruisik has just got past Dylan, which is why I got debated. Yenab has actually fallen down on Danico. He's gone 22 laps so far, 23 now on these soft tyres. He's actually taken these tyres further than anyone else has gone before. I don't really see the benefit to this. I think he's going to drop so much further down now that, yes, the mediums will be better towards the end, but if it's a very easy one-stop strategy to go from softs to mediums, surely this is just hindering your race unnecessarily.
Yeah, I think he's trying to push to the lifespan of these tyres, but there's a danger of doing that, to be honest, for Yenab. I mean, I wonder what the engineers are thinking. I mean, it's not going to be that long in about 6 laps' time where the ones on the mediums are going to be pitting. So that's going to probably hinder you even more. And the ones on the mediums, they're going to be on a faster tyre. Yenab is struggling with Andy. He's losing so much time as well. he's going to drop. I think he's going to drop all the way near the back as well, which is going to be, considering that he's been at the front for pretty much the first 2 races, to him being near the back in this race is not going to be good. Look at this. Andy is definitely pulling up all the stops to try and get past, but he definitely does, and of course he did because he's on the newer tyres. But like, there's quite a few people said in the chat, traffic management is key, and I have to say, around this track especially, I've got to agree.
Yeah, I was going to send it here because he needs to put as much frustration on Andy as possible. Andy's made a big mistake there, big lock-up on the right-hand side. He's not actually lost too much more than tyre wear, but that was very nearly a big problem. Yenab has had to pit now. The tyres have gone further than he really wanted them to be truthfully honest. I think that little scrap there has actually benefited his teammate Samidia a little bit, but more importantly, it's actually benefited Vexit a fair bit. He's actually recovered to 1.8 seconds now, so about half a second again from that one lap alone. But still, you have to worry about the other driver in Mercedes that's just behind you. That is also about half a second behind you, so it's Vexit needs to manage this gap and pace, but he can't worry about Krusix. He cannot put himself in a position where Krusix can do anything about it. I mean, Krusix has already been destroying that ERS battery. And I think Vexit is in a slightly better position, but only just 21%.
Now the same. Now the same. Pretty much.
Exactly.
But I'm seeing Vexit's gaining on the hairpin though. So, but Yonti though, he's could be in a fight with Garbaban soon, but he's got his teammate behind that obviously hasn't pitted yet. Jesper as well. Maybe they could start working together soon as well. And I'm actually quite surprised. No stewards inquiries at the moment in this race so far. So I think they must have learned from last week, I have to say. So well done to you guys. Well done to everyone that's racing, of course. And yeah.
25 laps in this Grand Prix done. 26 now as Top 10 crosses the line to start lap 26. It's now going to be the management game from here on out. There was a fair few fights. This is now going to be, let's just push. But with a bit of reserve. Well, to me, it doesn't look like he's on any reserve. New fastest lap from him, 29.669. Is very much trying to give as much of it as he can, but 4 seconds is the gap to the driver ahead, which is Dylan. Dylan obviously still yet to pit, but that means that it's a good, 7.5 seconds between him and Krusix, who is effectively P3.
Yeah, P3, or net P3, not on track, but in terms of who's made their first stops, because we've got, I think, 4 drivers in the top 4, they haven't made their first stops yet. Neither has Dylan, Brownie, Jesper and Higgsy. Everybody else has made at least 1 stop, which we'll get to the end from here as sources dictate. We do trust these sources, but we shall see as this race continues. It'll be 4 laps before the medium runners, I believe, pit for the soft tyres. So it's going to be a very spicy end to the race. I mean, I'm just going to look at the delta as well, but there's not much delta between the softs and the mediums. According to my data that I have, is around about 6/10 between the softs and the mediums. So for most of these guys, it's going to come down to pace more than anything.
Yeah, I'm sad because King Cardiac stole my my joke.
What?
He asked, "Are they HP sources?" I was about to say exactly that. Andy going for a move here on Danico. He is through up into P4 now. Danico will fall. Obviously, still yet to pit as well, so it is a. It is realistically just trying to clear traffic as much as you can. Like you said earlier, it is absolutely key that you keep out of traffic as much as possible and get them dealt with as quick as you can. But at the same time, you don't want to take them at the wrong part of the track, because if you do, you're actually going to lose more time by doing so than if you just wait that a little bit further. We kind of saw that earlier with Andy, who went for that move into the second part of Spoon. Yes, he got it done. It was quite clean, very enjoyable to watch, but was that the best place to do it? Probably not.
Yeah, it is a tough call, I have to say, but, you know, sometimes you make decisions for the race for a reason, and if it does not pay off, it may cost you at the end, especially around Japan as well. But yeah, Andy's definitely looking favourite to be winning this race, and that's been my prediction at the start, so it's glad to see him doing well as well, and he's going to be in the race lead once everyone else pits. And let's know who's done well so far. Who do you think has done well? And I think it's going to be hard to keep it get no penalties for the ones who do have penalties anymore, as in like any more penalties. So it's just a long game here on out for the ones who have not made their stops. For the ones who haven't made their stops, they've got to be focused, make sure they don't come out ahead of traffic as well, and see what happens. I think the only ones that are going to be in danger in terms of stacking is the Alpha Towers, because they're both on the same strategy, whereas other teams, they've got one person on the softs, one person on the mediums, no problem. So yeah, the Alpha Towers are going to be in a bit of trouble because one of them will have to stay out and not do the undercut, whereas the ones, it's going to be a tough fall. What will the decision be done? And meanwhile, Andy gets past Matteo, actually, speaking of that, and he's not that far behind the other two medium runners as well. So yes, I think the soft to medium strategy was definitely the way to go, but we haven't seen how the ones that are going to be on the softs in a minute go. So it may come back to bite, but I'm still predicting Andy's going to win.
Yeah, Andy took a bit of a risk there. Obviously, Matteo was a little bit slower, which is kind of what left Andy available to do such a move. But at the same time, it could have gone horribly wrong. And here's my worry now. Andy is looking very good. He's looked very good in the last two races where he's had this sort of performance. He's smashed it in the first half of the race and it's gone fantastically well from there on out. But he always gets one penalty so far. If he can avoid getting that penalty here today, this race is his no matter what happens. And Vexit has managed to just slip by Danico as well. But I'm just not confident that that's going to happen. I'm not confident that Andy's going to be able to avoid it as he goes very nicely on the inside there of Ben. It looked like Ben was going to defend that for a second, but no, he just moved out of the way, let it through, and Submidia showing pace again. A new fastest once more, 129.455 or 456 if you look at the telemetry at the top. Somebody is also through on Dylan.
Yep, so somebody getting through some traffic quite nicely as well, and that's probably going to help him for the rest of this race. Meanwhile, Copy gets past Higgsy there, up into P13 of this race so far. So I think by the end of lap 29, we've got half of this race still yet to go. We've done 50% almost. Wow. Yeah. The other Ferrari driver apparently slept past the race, unfortunately. Well, that is why there's only one Ferrari on the grid today. So Luca missed the race start. By falling asleep, yes. Aww. Ferrari strategy confirmed. Vexit having a look down the inside of Matteo. Don't force it here. This is not the way to go. You do not want to be alongside somebody going through a spoon, especially if you're going to have contact like that. I mean, luckily, it doesn't look like Matteo got affected by it too much. I mean, definitely got destabilized and forced right to the edge of the circuit. That would be massively annoying as a driver, but from a damage and time loss perspective, I don't think it was so bad. Matteo did look like he was going to send it down the inside of Vexit. Definitely scared Vexit. Vexit making a lot of mistakes going through that triangle, but you know what? Credit to Matteo. That was very well handled, especially given the situation. He's actually coming right back at him. Not even wanting to. He's not even using ERS. He's just got the DRS and the extra straight line speed, and that is bringing him closer. But Vexit will obviously stay where he is because Matteo decides against
Vexit's gone off!
Vexit's gone off. He's down to P7. Oh no! So Crucis has got ahead of him, and so has Danico, who's still yet to pit. He just went into the grass in the exit turn 2 by the looks of things, and that is a shame.
That's what I'm saying. It only takes one moment for it to just go horribly wrong as Danico gets a penalty. I think that is also another penalty for him. Yep, 6 seconds for him now. So not ideal as well. Vexit is still here on the back of Crucix. We had a bit of a twitch there. Vexit does now need to play reverse game here. Crucix was chasing Vexit. Vexit now needs to chase him. However, there is traffic. 2 cars ahead of them. This is actually going to really benefit Sumidi here now. He actually has a chance to really rein in Vexit and actually manage that gap. Because realistically, that 3-second time penalty for Vexit means that Sumidi only needs to be 2.3 seconds within him. Vexit has a lot of straight line speed. He's using all of that ERS and he's run out already. This is just too soon for you to go for a maneuver here because you need all of it going onto that home straight. You cannot afford for it to be zero. He's going around the outside here into the triangle. Now the inside is going to need to be very clean all the way around again into the final corner. They're going to be drag racing up towards turn 1. I don't see how he's going to benefit from this. He's surely not. Crucix does defend. And that is still P5 for him. Vexit really getting desperate here.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he's made a mistake, and sometimes mistakes will come back to bite you, and this is definitely one of those times. He's been forced to defend for his life here at the moment, but you know, he's still in a net P3. It's not too bad for him at the moment, but you know, it could have costed him a lot of time to some idiot, because some idiot will be closing in, as well as maybe Galbaband as well, but we'll have to see how that plays out for the rest of this race. We're on lap 31 now. Still no signs of the medium runners going into the pits. I think they saw what Cruises and Andy did when they pitted, and they're just calculating from there when their stop's going to be. So I think I'm just trying to do math here. I would say lap 34, 35 will be the best time to pit, because then they would have done the same laps as Cruises and Andy that did on the softs.
Well, for reference for you, 36% is the lowest tyre that Top Tom has, and that is equal across both of the fronts. So he's got 36% on the fronts.
Nice.
He's also got 37% on the rear. So he's doing a very good job of managing that tyre wear, making it as equal as he possibly can. I think you're right, yeah. Around about lap 35 is where I expect to be seeing, as here comes Cruisix for a send down the inside. That's not going to be the ideal location. A bit of contact, it looked like, between the two of them, but they managed to keep themselves clean of damage. They're still staying Danico ahead, but Vexit is going to fight this. They're going 3 wide down the home straight. I think Vexit will get both of them down the inside of both of them. There's surely no way he's going to keep this position. Cruisix is going to take it around the outside. This is never going to work for you, and it Vexit. That was absolutely incredible. Such an opportune moment, and he takes it away. It went wrong earlier for Vexit, and this time he makes it work.
That just goes to show, never give up. And Vexit did not give up there. Wow. And we thought they were going to pit lap 34, the soft runners. I was wrong.
I'm blown away. I mean, I saw the 3 wide, and Vexit obviously saw the inside line and thought, well, this is easy peasy. Turn 1 is going to be, all mine. I'll have it all, thank you. Very well driven there from Vexit, and now Cruisix is going to be hella frustrated. You know, he was actually trying to size up Danico already for a maneuver, and I think ultimately all of that happened because of Cruisix. Had he not sent it into the triangle for Danico, had he not caved to the pressure that Vexit was applying to him, he could have just sat behind Danico, protected the apexes for each of the 2 corners through the triangle, and then he could have got a nice smooth exit, got the DRS wide open, got the ERS deployed to then just push on through. And then you'd have seen him get that position from Danico. Vexit may have had a crack in him as well, but at least then he'd have been more secure. But Cruisix didn't play as well as he should have done, and as a result, he's now P3, Vexit back in at P2. The only saving grace really for Cruisix is Vexit has got a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I think that's what's helping Cruisix right now, and Tom Mini doesn't have a penalty either. So... but he's not catching up the way I would have liked, as Brownie goes into the pit lane as he goes on to the softs or the medium. We'll see. Probably softs. Yeah, softs.
Here, right?
Yeah, softs.
Matteo with a new fastest lap, 129.077. I've been told the stewards are on emergency air supply right now.
I think due to the battle that we've seen, that could have ended in tears. You can't go 3 wide there. Vexit just put... Sorry, this is... Can this go in the highlights, please? Can that 3-way battle go in the highlights? I'm just still blown away, honestly. Oh, wow.
I can't wait to see the highlight video for next week, just so I can watch that all over again. That was very well done. More of that, please. Let's keep that going, shall we?
Yeah, come on, guys.
Still hanging into that DRS range of Vexit. 7/10 is the gap, but... yeah, as rightly pointed out in the chat, ERS levels for Cruisix are very critical. Although I don't think they're much better. No, they're equal for Vexit. So they're both in the same position. It is still slightly favored for Cruisix because he does have DRS and obviously Toe to help him defend this. And again, he doesn't actually have to push that hard due to the lack of penalties that he has. As Ben is now on the brand new softs, going to ease past Copy on the straights to 130R and yeah, just relax, enjoy yourself, and manage everything you've got. Danico into the pits, off those mediums, onto the softs, to take these to the end of the race.
Yeah, people pitting. Danico pitted when I thought the soft runners were going to pit. So we know Danny's going to make it to the end. 24 laps they last these softs, so realistically, the ones who pitted at the start of the pit window should be fine anyway as well. So, but it's going to be a bit of a push for them. Like we've seen with the likes of Cruisix earlier on, who was on the tyres for so long. Same with some idiot too, so you never know what could happen as well. But let's hope we get more similar moves, maybe potentially as well. And this could be a chance as well for the AlphaTauri boys to work together, maybe get a bit of slipstream as well, potentially to try and get these moves done, to try and get both of these drivers in, well, as many positions as they can, really, as Top Tom is right on the back of Gelbaba. And I think at some point it's going to be an easy move for Top Tom on these soft tyres. This could still be a chance. He can still get a podium. It's still possible for Top Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. But Top Tom has just got so much pace. Again, I have a soft spot for him. I want to see him continue in this performance that he's got so far. Yeah, he's got a penalty. Yeah, I mean, so has a fair few other people. But here he goes then. On Gelbavan, down the inside into 130. He's got the grippier tyres. He does have to cut that inside corner because he wants to try and give as much room for Gelbavan as possible. Gelbavan will, of course, just concede because the tyres definitely favour Top Tom. And Gelbavan could really do with that extra bit of toe and a pace that he gets from Top Tom being ahead of him, just to try and bring him closer to Yonti.
Yeah, Yonti is in P5 right now, 15 laps on the medium tyres as well. And conditions, they're starting to cloud over a little bit, but it's still nice and sunny in pretty much most parts of the track as well. So, you know, any time right now is going to be a good situation as well. But we're going to keep an eye on the tyres of the top 5 as well. This is going to be the crucial part at the moment. But you could see Top Tom is he just can't go past at this stage. But I think he's just playing the waiting game, not going for the move until he sees fit. But his tyres are going to be cooked if he does not get the move done now, especially where the softs overheat quite a lot around this track. But we will see what happens at the end of it.
I want to point out, we've not actually had a safety car yet.
Oh, don't jinx it, Ben.
I mean, I apologise. But, you know, a safety car right now would really throw Vexit under the bus. He would not want that at all. Because, I mean, Cruise Sticks obviously is within his range already. That's going to kind of stay as it is. But when you've got the likes of Samidia, who is not far off that range, this could be... that would really spice things up for him. As Top Tom again going for a manoeuvre down the inside of Yonti there. I would say a little bit risky. That's twice he's done that manoeuvre. Both times he's had to cut the curb on there just to try and ensure he definitely gives as much space as possible. But yeah, Top Tom up to P5. I think realistically, this is probably the best he's going to get now, unless Vexit has a major off that puts him alongside of him. Maybe snatch a P4 away, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. He needs to carry on just managing his pace, carry on managing his tyres, and just making sure that he gives it full beans to bring him as close as he can to the top 3.
Clouds are starting to thicken a little bit, I've noticed as well. It was sunny earlier, now it's thickened a bit. So I wonder if it's going to throw a spanner in the works and see rain. But like we said, strange things have happened. We'll have to wait and see. I hope it does not rain, because we've had a nice clean slate of no stewards inquiries at the moment, and we want to keep it that way at this stage. But look at the gap between Andy and Vexit, 6.1 seconds. Wow.
You know, I'll give you a little bit of insider information. So today, Furball is not the head steward. Furball had a horrific day at work today. So I said, look, dude, you take the night off. I'll get my boy Ravenduck to hook in, and then we'll go from there. So Ravenduck jumped in, and coincidentally, Ravenduck gets head steward, and the race is the cleanest so far. I'm just saying.
I think Ravenduck must be loving life at the moment.
He says, "I have the power."
Yes, indeed. I mean, credit to Ravenduck for stepping in on short notice. He's a steward anyway, but for him stepping up to head duties like that is pretty amazing. So keep it up, Ravenduck. You must be definitely doing something right, I have to say. And we also have a guest steward every week as well. Obviously, we don't name who that is, because otherwise they'll probably get loads of messages. But we do have guest stewards every week. So, And by the way, if you want to become a guest steward, there's I think there's a message that goes out on Discord every week for interest. If you're not racing, please go for it. It's a good experience. Meanwhile, Brownie gets past Jesper, I believe, up to P15.
You have to react with a clown emoji as well.
Why clown emoji?
It was from a Jackbox Party Pack thing we did some time ago. Where,
okay.
Someone drew a picture of a clown, and then someone else
I remember
commented
now.
underneath it saying it was the RNL stewards.
I remember that now. I remember that.
It was a doozy. Andy's still race leader, 6.3 seconds. That's just how much time Vexit lost when he made that mistake, but also then stuck behind traffic, made it even harder for him to recover. And Crucix, he's very much on the back of that gearbox now, so he can actually go for it. He's actually saved a lot of ERS, to be honest, in comparison to where he was earlier. This is practically a full battery for Crucix when you think about it, considering he's been side like 5-6% most of the time. Deciding again he doesn't need to or want to push here. Realistically, he's not going to catch Andy, so there's no benefit to Crucix passing Vexit and doing anything more than he needs to. Just needs to maintain his consistency, avoid getting any penalties, keep his ERS battery at a decent level just in case some idiot suddenly finds a crazy amount of pace and closes in again, and then just ride it out for P2. Easy slaps.
Yeah, I think that'll be good for the Mercedes drivers to get a 1-2. I mean, if they keep it clean, then it's going to be no problem at all. But Ferrari, they're still in a good position to score more points than they ever scored. They scored nil point. I think one of few teams to not score any points at all this season.
Yep.
I think what the other one is, I'm trying to think, is there any more or is it just Ferrari? I can't even remember.
There is one other.
Is it
I think
AlphaTauri?
Renault are the other team that haven't yet scored points.
No, Owen Pateo got the points in round 1. Sorry.
I will bring it up on my phone and double check. Because I did actually do this graphic yesterday, and I should know them off by heart. But I don't.
Renault, I know Renault scored points. Did the Galba band?
So, you're right, AlphaTauri. So it's AlphaTauri and Ferrari, both on 0 points. Alfa Romeo on 4, because Beaker actually scored points in the first race. Yep, I know, hard to believe. Haas have got 5, because Yonti's got 4 and Jesper's got 1. Renault have got 11, Williams have got 18, McLaren have got 20, Red Bull on 23, Mercedes on 45, and Racing Point on 77. So, based on today's results, Mercedes will definitely close in very, very much with Andy's huge 25 points. He will also take Drivers' Championship lead as well as a result of this. So this is fantastic to see. Crucix will obviously aid that as long as he actually finishes in P3. And this will be the first time that a Mercedes driver has actually done anything big other than Andy in this season so far. But both the first 2 races, yes, I think Hueni scored points for the team in the first race. But Crucix did not have a great second race. Oh, bit of a mistake there from Vexit. That's a bit too deep into the hairpin. Crucix could actually now start to pounce. This is going to be really quite good if he can maintain this gap and maintain this pace. But you got to worry about some idiot. Anytime you see a driver ahead of you make a mistake like that and it causes you to slow down a bit, more than likely the driver behind is going to close in enough to make you start sweating later.
Yeah, I mean, the more that you put the pressure on towards the end, the more it's going to hinder the other driver. So that is what I would say Crucix is trying to put the pressure on now, to be honest, because Vex will have little time to respond. But we know how Crucix can go for an absolutely audacious move. So we'll just see what happens with him. And, you know, I mean, Vexit still doing well either way. But if he does not get the move done, he's going to be in danger of not losing P2. He's going to be in danger of also losing a podium because... I believe, let me just check how many penalties Vexit's got. I believe it's 3 seconds. Okay, so somebody needs to find 0.6 per second to Vexit, and then he's pretty much got the podium sealed.
So in answer to your question, there are 8 drivers that haven't yet got points. We're talking Ben, Dennis, Higgsy, Phoenix Legend, Matteo, Vexit, Luca, and Dylan. Of those,
I think there's 3 drivers. 2. Oh yeah, 2. Yeah, Vexit. No, 3. 3.
Who's the others?
No, I'm talking about 3 that could score points today.
Who's the other one? So there's Vexit, Matteo, and
Ben, who's in P10 right now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Both the AlphaTauris actually scoring points, so they will also get the entire constructor off the ground, which is nice. It would be nice if they could actually secure. Doing the do. Apologies, Tristan. Thank you for your continued support.
Yeah, I only asked the question on the chat because I didn't want to interrupt your flow, but no, that's what I've learned in terms of commentary. But anyway, lap 41. Again, not much change at the front, but not much change in the midfield either. They're just finding their time. And I think Matteo could actually gain quite a lot of positions from this.
Yeah, could do. I mean, again, this is actually quite...
And
I don't want to
as
say
well.
out of the ordinary, because, I mean, Matteo has been a very quick driver and actually has been relatively consistent, but so far, this has been really good. What's happened to Vexit? He's gone off the track.
Again.
He's gone completely off the track. He's lost a lot of time here, and he's got a time penalty as well. Big mistakes for him. Vexit down to P5. Samidia up in a P3. Tom P4.
Oh, no.
And Vexit's off again.
Oh, is that a commentator's curse that we just given him? I think we have.
I think that's on you. I didn't do it.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry, Vexit. I know him very well. He's probably going to kill me in a Discord chat later.
Oh, no, Vexit.
What have you done,
What could
Vexit?
have been? He was looking so good to get Ferrari out of the 0 points, and now suddenly he's not going to get him. I'm not taking the commentator's curse on that one. That was all on him.
That was me.
Yeah, all on you, Jess. That's you.
Yeah, that means AlphaTauri will not be last in the standings anymore if they keep this up. Actually, right, no. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything more.
Yeah, you've already jinxed one. Do you want to take any more lives whilst you're at it, Jess?
Beaker's almost in the points. Almost.
Yep. Very nearly. Actually, Beaker not get... Oh, Tom nearly runs into the back of Samidia here. This is going to be a very spicy scrap here for the final step of that podium. But Tom knows he needs to pass Samidia and build a 3-second gap. And you know Samidia will not go down without a fight. As he comes now in towards turn 1, going for the inside line. It's going to be nice and easy done. He needs to hold it tight, which he can do because these soft tyres are still pretty fresh, pretty young. Samidia, however, though, he's playing into... the normal path he likes to play, which is I'm just going to sit here on the back of someone and manage it. As Vexit gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane and retires from the session. It took one lap to undo everything Vexit had achieved throughout the entire 42 laps so far.
He was doing so well.
Yeah.
F in the chat, everybody, for Vexit.
F in chat.
That is just,
well,
I'm just speechless because all that hard work he's done. He got pole. It just, failed for him.
Danico P10 has been promoted up a position due to Vexit's mistake, which has helped him out quite a considerable amount. Ben now doubled up his points. He's in P9 as it sits. Of course, he does need to make sure that he doesn't... have any issues or any penalties himself. Danico having a couple now, I think, so he can just relax a little bit. If Danico goes for a move, fine, let him go. Just stay within the 6-second margin. Easy slaps.
Yeah, but he's got to be wary of the pace of Danny, because if Danny could pull away 6 seconds in 10 laps, then it's probably a chance of maybe P9 gone. But we know that these guys are smart. They can do this. The Jeffs have got useful information knowing on the pace of the other drivers, so I'm sure Ben will know when to defend and when not to, so we'll just see what happens. But, you know, it's looking good for both AlphaTauri drivers. It's looking good for Tom as well, but he's got somebody that has no penalties, and he's right on the back of him almost now.
Yeah, this is good stuff to see then. So, Vex's crash and retirement seems to have been caused by network issues and was on his own accord.
Ooh. So another driver. It has to be a Ferrari-powered car that has internet issues or technical issues. First it was Dennis, now it's Vexit.
Well, yeah, I mean, Luca, in the previous races, he's had nothing but issues when it's come to his network source. Things. So, yeah, Ferrari car is cursed, as Assassin has just stated.
Apart from Yonti, he's the only one that's not in that bracket. He's the only exception, I would say.
Who, sorry?
Yonti. He's in the Haas Ferrari car, powered car.
Yeah.
He's the only Ferrari powered car that's doing very well at the moment.
You've just jinxed him. Well done. You've already taken one life today, Jess. Did you have to take his as well? The poor guy. He's just innocently driving. He's done nothing wrong. And you're just throwing him away like that. Danico getting onto the back of Ben much more than he has done previously. This is actually going to size him up quite nicely. He's got a decent amount of ERS for him to actually go for a maneuver here on the home straight. The DRS and ERS will be massively beneficial for him here. The toe as well. Alpin just suck the car forward. Ben going defensive. This is not going to be a surprise to see that Danico's go around the outside. Can Ben just keep it along the inside, though, to hold on to that position? He's trying, but he's not going to get it. And Danico up to P9. Fantastic move there. Just needs to maintain it now. Penalties obviously are a problem for Danico. Ben needs to see that and just let him go. Just keep hold of that 3 to 6 second gap. You're all right.
Yeah, I think Ben did the right thing. As long as he can keep within Danny Cope, he should be absolutely fine. Maybe Ben could use Danny for a bit of DRS so he could pull away from the guys behind him as well. But Danny Cope is flying in Sector 1 at least, so he would have been held up if he didn't make the move soon. So it was a brave move for him. But we'll see.
Well, Pika. P14 still. Just jumps up to P30. I didn't see what happened to Jesper there. Did he lag there or something? Yellow flag Sector 2. Is that Dylan?
Yeah, that was Dylan who lost a few positions.
Oh, I thought it was Jesper that lost out. But no, yeah, you're right, Dylan.
I think he must have had a spin or something. Dylan spun, according to Dennis. So there we go.
Interesting. All right, well, I missed that one. Andy, 10 seconds ahead of his teammate. Andy looking very good, but a penalty has been applied to him. And if Canada is anything to base it on, yes, Andy had a huge lead. I think it was 18 seconds that Andy had. And then safety car was called. And then he was done in. So maybe, who knows, we might see some idiot taking the win again this week if that ends up happening. If a safety car gets called right near the end of this race, like lap 48 onwards, some idiot could genuinely win this race again.
It could still happen. Some idiot is in a good position because the ones with no penalties are going to hope for a safety car because they could be on for massive points. Like the ones in the top 10, maybe even I would say Beaker as well. So it's far from over. Yeah. And the question is, it may be too late for a safety car. We don't know. I don't think we've had any VSCs either.
Oh, I've just been told we haven't had any VSCs in this race now. I don't know about the entire season. We may
no. I'm talking about today. Oh, Dylan's
none today, but
disconnected.
Yeah. Sad
times, but at least he's still going.
Yeah, this is true. He's not in points though. I mean, he was already looking pretty rough anyway, but now that's happened, it is going to be a problem. Top Tom, though, is feeling very feisty. He's actually going to look to get a move done on Crucix, but by the time he gets to alongside of him, he's down the inside in towards turn 1. This surely cannot end well, and it doesn't! There's contact. Top Tom is round, but he catches it!
What?
Top Tom is insane!
How did he do that? Well, some idiot got past him now, but it's not hindered him anyway because Top Tom has penalties. So, to be fair, he hasn't lost out to anything right now. Top Tom!
Get the Tokyo Drift music playing. That was crazy. I didn't. What that? Wow. I thought he was dead. I thought he was over, and I thought that was the safety car call. He snaps back out of it and brings him back onto the track, and he only loses one place. And what was it, like 3 seconds there? That was a fantastic catch from Top Tom. I guarantee you he needs a new pair of boxes after that race.
Best catch I've seen in a long time, I have to say.
Yeah, hands down.
And King Kojak in the chat saying, sign that man up to a cricket team with a catch like that. That's true.
Absolutely.
That's true.
I am blown away that Top Tom caught that. That was fantastic. Very well done by him.
We got a clip with that. Thank you very much, Tristan. You legend. I'm definitely watching that back.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to watch that right. As soon as this race is over, I'm clicking that link straight up. I want to see that. Matteo actually coming into the sort of the P5 territory. He's actually done such a good job in terms of penalty management. He's got these positions already when you take it just from penalties alone. But if I know Matteo, and I'm not saying I do, but if I do, I think he's going to want a bit more than that.
Yeah, I will keep an eye on penalties, actually. Everybody's on 3 seconds, except Danico on 9, Dylan on 15, and Higgsy on 9 seconds. That's the ones who've got penalties. Andy, Top Tom, Yonti, Galbaband, and Brownie are on 3 seconds. So,
some idiot now on the podium. 2.6 seconds behind Crucix. So, if Crucix does in fact get himself a penalty, somebody gets insta-promoted to P2. And again, if a safety car is called, he can actually still put himself in a position where he can win this race. It's just now, we need the luck of the safety car gods if somebody is to win it. But Andy's deserved it, let's be honest. Andy's driven like an absolute machine. He's got so much pace. The consistency is almost there. I'd give him a 95% out of 100 when it comes to that consistency. Most part, he's really, really good, but every race he gets at least one penalty, and that just causes him to be at risk of losing out, especially, like I say, if that safety car does come. Top Tom trying to fire back and fight back. He's there in P4. He made that beautiful save earlier on the previous lap, and now that he's probably brought his heart rate down just a little bit, he's actually going to go for it here. Look, down the inside of some idiot who's not going to put up a fight. And Top Tom back into P3. But once again, remember, Top Tom has that penalty to be concerned about. He has to manage it and maintain it from here on out.
Yeah, but he has to really, man. You can't afford to get any more penalties, because otherwise he's going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble with the ones that have less penalties. The ones on 3-second penalties, or none at all, are going to be in a huge position at the moment. Matteo could be on... I don't think Matteo needs to go for the move on Galbaband here. He could just stay pretty, but he knows he's got people around catching him, so unfortunately I got the rev glitch from Matteo, but considering the troubles he had last week with the desync, this is definitely a huge comeback for Matteo.
Yeah. So the stewards have informed us, I kind of predicted this would be the case, but the stewards have told us that the incident between Crew 6 and Top Tom on lap 47, which was obviously the mad catch from Top Tom, I was obviously no further action. I think that's fair. When you're going for an inside move like that, it's a risk you take. If the line is tight and you run just a tiny bit too deep, yeah, that's going to happen. But massive. I'm going to keep talking about that for the entire season. I can feel it.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that next week, the week after that. I'm going to give him praise in the VSR chat later on tonight. I'm going to say, how did you do that?
Yeah, well, hopefully we get to have an interview with him and we can catch his reaction in the chat. He's actually chucking in fastest lap, so, you know, he's clearly doing something right. At 28.083, he's doing lap times on 16-lap-old softs with a heavier fuel load than what I do when I do 5-lap races, and he's still faster than me. That's madness.
That is, I think.
Matteo holding on here for a P5, like I say, with penalties included. What were you going to say?
Oh, nothing, don't worry. I think I was going to say what you were about to say.
Oh, okay. Well, it's now coming into the calm down stages of the race. We do still have 4 laps to go. And this is just going to be, okay, well, here's where I pretty much am. Nothing's really going to change that, except if you're Yenab. Yenab can actually still gain quite a lot here. He's already set to gain 2 places. It's just whether or not he can gain that 3rd. Get himself that P5 away from Matteo. This is why Matteo is kind of pushing a little bit, because he does have to worry to an extent. As out comes the inside. No, you cannot send it there. Yenab just about aborted on that move in time, but he's losing so much as a result of that. Look at that, up to 6/10 almost. He's having to burn a fair bit of that ERS. He's down into the single digits and more just to try and get himself back into the close range of Matteo. If that goes wrong for him, I mean, he's just going to throw himself into a position he doesn't need to be in.
Yeah, I did see Ben just picked up a penalty as well, so he was penalty free until, I can't remember which bit of the lap he did, but yeah, Ben's on 1 penalty as well. Brownie's on 1 too, who's just picked up 1, so that makes less drivers that have no penalties at the moment. So if there is a safety car, those people are going to be in trouble, but looks like there isn't going to be any, so we shall see.
Yep. Yeah, Yenab literally pushing all of his ERS to be fully utilised, and that's the problem. When you move it down so much, again, Matteo very quickly there through turn 1. He's so much better into that corner than Matteo is, but it means nothing if you can't make a move through there. And if you're still stuck in the traffic, yes, it'll bring you back up a little bit, but he's burning too much ERS. He's burning so much, in fact, that he just cannot keep it charged up enough to be able to attack. And you're running out of time now. You've only got 3 laps, well, 4 if you count the one that they're on right now, but you've really got to just conserve now. Oh, Matteo actually flicks it out of the way. This is surely going to be a move from Yenab. He's going to go around the outside in towards the hairpin. Matteo squeezes him to the edge, but Yenab's going to try and stick it through anyway. He cannot. That was very well held there from Matteo. Nice, hard and fair defensive move from Matteo. So yeah, apparently Yenab muted the voice chat since lap 5. And apparently he's getting bugged and forced his ERS into overtake in the first 2 laps. I think Yenab is a bit tilted, which might explain why he's going for all these crazy sends.
That's probably why he's not listening to his Jeff then, his engineer. as Falsetti is proving in the chat, because he is his jet. So yeah.
Oh, Top Tom actually catching up to the back of Crucix. The thing is now though, it's very much a what do you do now if you're a Top Tom? You pass Crucix, I guess, and or at least try and battle him and force him to get a penalty. But other than that, you're pretty much just sitting pretty in P3, although you're going to lose out to some idiot regardless. So, I guess realistically, your only choice here is fight Crucix in every corner possible, even if that means that some idiot closes in a bit faster. So, it's just going to have to be that way because I need to get Crucix to make mistakes, get his own penalties, and then I can then take that third step and just hold that third step because as it stands, he's P4.
Yeah, which is, I think, all things considered, he started lower down. That is a very good position to be in, and it shows that Japan's one of those tracks where the alternate strategy is not too bad, and all these guys are keeping the alternate strategies working to perfection right now. But we're on almost on lap 52, as Andy's going to start his lap for the penultimate time on this race, and this is going to be the last time we follow him. But here comes Top Tom, who is right on the back of Crucix once again. If Top Tom gets past Crucix, he can concentrate on getting that gap that he needs, potentially still get that P3, but some idiot is catching up to him as well. So could this be the time where the soft tyres start to die? Top Tom, gets past Crucix quite considerably. And yeah, Top Tom's now up into P2 of this race. And could this be the moment? Could this be the moment where he gets the gap that he needs to get basically P3? But it's going to be very tight. So
I don't see it happening. It's just, unless he's got like a rocket booster that he can just strap onto the back of his car and just take off. I just don't see how he's going to. Look, I mean, 7/10 already. Who knows? Anything can happen. But in like 4 corners, I think he's already gained the 7/10. So I'm not saying absolutely not. I'm saying it's highly unlikely. And, you know, some idiot will actually start to apply pressure, I guess, soon to Crucix. But we've literally got one more lap after this one. And, you know, Andy already going through 130R in a second. I think we're going to be... Yenap's had an off. He's lost out there.
Oh, so now Danico's now up into 8th. Ooh. But Yenap's still going to be 9th. Well, still going to be 8th, though, due to penalties. I think.
We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Crucix P3 still. Still within 1 second on Top Tom. No ERS available to him. A DRS officer still there. Will help him close in just a touch, but he's only really regained what he was already at previously. We are, of course, on the final lap. Andy, 10, almost 11 seconds up the road on Top Tom, who is flying. Don't get me wrong. He is absolutely giving it the full beans, but this is realistically still for a P4 due to that penalty.
Yeah, I think the ones with penalties have really got to start to push right now, but we shall see at the end there as Top Tom's definitely pushing to the limit at the moment. I think P4 is going to be the best for him, I have to agree, but there's been a lot of drive of the days so far, and Matteo's got to be one of them due to the way he's handling with it. I think his tyres management and the way he's been pushing has been next to none. So probably I would say Top Tom, Matteo are probably the two I would say as well. Unlucky to Yenab with that mistake, but Andy's going to be crossing 130R for the final time and ready to finish his lap and potentially win the race, which he will.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be needing nothing short of a disaster for this race to go away from him because he comes across the line to take the victory. Finally, he gets the win he's wanted here in Suzuka. Top Tom will cross the line in P2, but he's not going to keep it because he's not within the penalty. He's outside the penalty range there of Crucix and Samidia, who will take P2 and P3. Yonti will cross the line in P5. Again, will not keep it. Galdevan will also fall as well. And it will be Matteo who jumps up to P5. Getting some big points for AlphaTauri. He's the first driver to score points for AlphaTauri, and the second driver is Ben, who's there in P9, giving himself 2 points to help bring AlphaTauri off the ground. Still with 0 points at the end of it all,
It's
Ferrari. Nothing to gain today. And after Vexit's really strong display in the first, what was it, 41 laps, I think it was, at the end of the day, walks away with 0.
Do you want to know the gap between Top Tom and some idiot? After penalties, 4 tenths of a second.
He almost had it.
Yeah.
He almost had it. That could have been a podium there. Yeah. So if you had to settle on a single person for driver of the day of this race, who would you go for?
Due to that crazy save, Top Tom.
I mean, it was mental. I mean, the driver of the day in game is Top Tom. In fairness, I guess we've got to give it to him because he started P14, remember, in this race. He claimed so many places to bring himself right back up there. So, yeah, you know what? Fair play. I think he deserves it. That was very, very well done from him to secure that position. Thank you, Tristan, for the link. I will have a look at that in a...
After the interviews, we'll look at it.
Yeah, after the inters. Right, the rundown at the end of the race, just to confirm how everything pans out at the end. So Andy getting the race win, Crucix P2, so it's a Mercedes 1-2. Is this real life? Just pinch myself to check. Smitty at P3, Top Tom P4, but he also gets himself the fastest lap, so an extra point in his pocket there, which I'll be, I'm sure, very happy with. Mateo P5, so 10 points for him. Yonti P6, Gelban P7, Yenab probably quite disappointed with himself because the P5 or at least P6 would have been on the table for him, but P8 is where he finishes up in the end. But Ben getting that P9 position, so finally scoring a point for his team, or 2 even. And then Danico getting P10. Copy finishing best of the rest there. P11 still hasn't got a penalty to his name. Actually, same for Yenab. They're both 2 drivers who have not yet got a penalty on their name in any of the 3 races. So well done to them. Brownie P12, Beaker P13, Jesper 14th, Dylan in 15th place with Higgsy in 16th, and then the DNFers start, which are Vexit, Phoenix Legend, and Dennis. It's sad to see that Dennis having the technical difficulties. I mean, he wasn't looking like he was going to win the race, but he still looked like he was in a really good position regardless. So now we need to move to the interviews, which we're going to obviously, first of all, go with some idiot because he is the man. You know, he just took that P3. I think that was pretty good going. I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty happy with that. Let's go and have a chat with him now. Hello, Cody. How you doing?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Yeah,
very
doing
good.
well.
That was a credible race.
Well, I was kind of a spectator for about 40 laps of it, though.
Yeah, I can imagine. Did you get to see Top Tom's save? Crazy save?
I only saw a bit of it. I knew they went side by side into one, and I was thinking, oh, is there possible? There might be an incident that happens, and then I just see a McLaren sideways as I come through the corner. I'm like, oh, something happened.
It was fantastic. I can't wait to watch it. But yeah, I thought you might have been able to get like a front row seat to it. But yeah, it was
just didn't have the pace for that.
We don't care about Top Tom. We care about you because you managed to secure yourself again through consistency and through pure penalty management, as in not having any at all. You managed to get yourself back onto the podium once again. You must be feeling pretty happy, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But just a little bit of, well, I had a 4th place car today, maybe even a 5th place car today. Like, I hate what happened to Vexit. I think something happened with his PC or something happened with his internet because I just saw him teleport a corner back and then go straight into the wall. I feel bad for him because he was having a good race.
It was network issues, I think, according to someone who said in the chat anyway.
I see. I mean, remember what I had in Canada. So
yeah.
It's like he's having a good race. And then Top Tom, he was just quicker than me. He passed me twice. I literally both times I'm like, goodbye. You're quicker than me. Just go by.
Enjoy your race.
I can't fight it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was talking pretty much for about 40 laps about I just didn't have enough front end in the car. I just as a general thing because I did something in qualifying that worked, but I didn't carry it over for the race, and that was my dumb mistake. Was missing the front end just a little bit. They were just a couple tenths quicker than me. I even had a tire advantage, and I was still not able to go any quicker. It was just I just didn't have the pace for more than say 4th or 5th. But the penalties, that's where got lucky. I was at 2 warnings. Got 2 warnings in the final chicane, I want to say something like that. But it just. Yeah, I just didn't quite have the pace to be on there on speed, but on penalty management, absolutely, I'll take that. You know that. That's
the thing.
That's how I drive.
The part that you're critiquing there is ultimately, like a small aspect, I've always been an advocate for consistency over pace, right? Consistency is demonstrated time and time again. If you look at Copy, he's been one of the main guys. He's still yet to get a penalty this season, along with Yanab, of course. But he got a podium in, was it Canada, I think it was? Just purely by having 0 penalties. He didn't have pace neither, but he just managed to hold it together. And that just goes to show that pace is only so much of the actual race. It's all about how clean and consistent you can be. And you have shown time and time again that you're more than capable of doing it. However, I do want to point out Mercedes have closed the gap quite significantly. I'm not sure entirely if they've taken the constructors' lead. I know they've taken drivers.
Well, with a P1 and 2, they'd get 43, or they get 43 points. I got third, Janab got 8th. I don't know what's going to be after penalties. I don't know. But he got 8th, so that would be 19 points. Yeah, they closed up a fair bit. I think it's within 10 now already. But we're 3 races in, remember? This is not even close to being over. Not even close to being over, you know? Yeah. But, yeah, what can I say? I just, we were talking about consistency and pace. I don't want to droll on too much, but it's like, I've always regretted that I'm just not, I don't have that outright raw pace. Because there's a saying that I have that I like is you can learn consistency, you can't learn how to go fast. And I've just, for me, it's always been, I can be consistent, but I just don't quite have that raw pace. Somebody teach me how to be fast. I'd love to be fast. I just can't do it. But the consistency's there. That's what I try to work within. And I mean, it's served me well, but sometimes just want a little bit more. And today was kind of that day. Wish I had a little bit more raw pace, but I'll take the P3. I wasn't expecting to get third from where I was after the first stint. Just tried something different and didn't quite work. But I'll hand over the mic to you.
You obviously secured the P3 today, but next week is Silverstone. Are you gonna nail it? Are you gonna get that P1? Yeah.
Yeah, no. It takes more raw pace to be quick.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer.
You've not learned yet, have you? How many times have you been in here? How many times have you been in here? You need to tell us you're gonna win. You need to give us something to be excited about and know that you're gonna get the dub, right? 26 points I'm hearing next week.
It's not in me. Go ask the Mercedes boys. They got the speed. Go ask Top Tom. He's got the speed. Go ask Janeb. He's got the speed. I'm the one who's just trying to run my race, try to be consistent. And maybe be there when all the chips go down. The confidence is quiet. Let's put it that way.
Regardless of how critical you've been of yourself, you have obviously, of course, put in one mental performance today. So be very proud of yourself regardless. You still achieved big points for your team. And I think ultimately you are one of the main reasons that your team is still, I think, leading that Constructors' Championship. And probably will. If you continue like this, you should be able to keep pushing as you are. And,
we'll see if I can run the full schedule. I'm not even, we'll see what happens.
I believe in you. I believe in you. You should believe in you. And I've got a prediction in for you that you're getting a big Dubsky next week, okay?
Yeah, I need to take about 10 miracles and a pinch of salt over my shoulder.
If Ben gets our prediction right, I'm gonna give the sub on Rwaggy's channel next week.
Oh, all right, okay. I'll take that.
If you want an actual prediction for next week, I'm just gonna try to get another top 5. Just keep having the pace.
No podium, win, dub.
Yeah, at least you guys at least a podium. Come on.
We'll see what happens.
Well, again, congratulations on your P3.
You're turning into Lewis Hamilton. You're sandbag. You're saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do well." Anyway, sorry.
I'm just waiting to hear about the best fans in a second. That's all I'm waiting for now.
Well, we're not at Coda yet, but you telling me Lewis Hamilton? I'm a Sergio Perez fan. Where's the consistency?
Well, Mexico's in 2 weeks, so you better get ready for that.
Oh, you believe me? That's one I'm circling on my calendar. But I have been here way too long. Thank you guys for having me. Get someone else in here that can talk your ear off.
Well, both the Merc boys are not around to do a.
Oh my goodness!
You're the only interviewee today.
Well, I hope I give you an exciting interview at least. God dang it.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys and girls.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Well, congrats again on the P3. I look forward to seeing you on the top step of the podium next week in Britain.
Don't jinx me. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Take care. And since the Mercedes boys are not around to have an interview, that will be the end of the interviews and the end of the RNL. Thank you, everybody who tuned in to watch the RNL with us. It's been a fantastic race, and I'm going to go and watch the Top Tom clip in a second with all of you guys in the chat. Jess, thank you as always for joining me. It's so good to have you in the commentary box. I have actually missed commentating with you before this season started, and when you said that you was going to be joining me, I was very, very happy. So I'm glad to be working alongside you again.
You're welcome. I'm very excited for Silverstone this next week. He's always a cracker. I remember the last one I commentated with you in RNL, and it was a cracker too. So I'm really excited.